You ready?
Yes.
I'm sure all of you have been to a circus or have been to even Venice Beach. I've never been to Venice Beach, but I've read a book about the people that perform there. They all do some weird tricks, acts. Someone's on a unicycle, maybe 6 feet tall, or someone's sticking needles in their arms or whatever, weird stuff. Well, there's a quote from Alice Adams that says, "I guess all talented people are a bit peculiar. It's part of their charm." Well, these guys, they might do weird stuff, but they're probably really nice people. They just do that, for a little bit extra money, to go buy themselves something, or just because they love to entertain. This quote tells of the many talented people out there that seem a little weird for what they do, but that is who they are. And who are we to smash on their dreams or what they do, just because they love to do it, or we think it's a little weird and it's not something you see every day. Well, for example, I had a friend, his name was Justin. He's really, really smart. He's really into the speech debate team and all that stuff. But he was kind of like on the weird, straightforward type of smart talk guy where, he could talk to you about football. And he'll come up with words and you're just crazy. You're just like, what are you talking about, dude? Are you still talking about football? And he'd be like, yeah, but this words mean this, this, and this. And what I thought was really weird about him, it was really, kind of corny and sweet, was that whenever he met a girl, he would go and kiss their hand. And I was just like, who does that? And one time I told him, I was like, how do you know where her hand has been? I was like, maybe she just came from licking up off all the syrup or something on her hand when she ate breakfast or whatever. But he is a nice guy. He is my friend. I don't talk to him anymore. Because he graduated. But he's a cool guy, and I got to know him. So next time that you think a guy or girl is weird for what they do or for their talent, just get to know them, or don't judge anybody by, the cover. Just get to know them, and they'll probably be a really different person inside. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. I know. And I'm like, no. I'm be like, yes. I'm so excited. I was like, I'm so excited. If I get nervous and I'm nervous, I had to train my emotions to explain how I do it.
Anthony, I liked your reference to the circus and Venice Beach as an attention device. It sets up the topic pretty well. You've got a pretty clear point of view. There's no setup of what the structure is going to be, but you've got a couple of good examples that you talk about. You actually get a nice presentation out of your friend that you don't talk to anymore because you've got a couple of good illustrations there. On presentation things, you project your voice pretty well. You're kind of low-key, but that's all right. I thought there's okay variety, but it's paced really nicely. The visual aspects, I think, are really solid. You've got good gestures, you've got some descriptive gestures, end indicators, your facial expressions are very vivid. Your eye contact, I liked especially at the start of the speech that you are looking at the audience. I think that works really well. Thank you for taking off your hat, by the way. That also adds a little bit to, actually letting us connect with you, and I think you'll see that it makes a difference when you look at the video clip. The one thing about your eye contact, though, is although it's good through most of the speech, it does tend to be centered in the middle part of the room, and I don't know if the people on the edges notice that you're not always looking at them, but I think you want to engage them a little bit more. Nice, vivid facial expressions. When you told the story, you looked like you were really telling a story, that you're interested in it, that this is a memory that you had, this is something that you're glad to be talking about, and I thought that relates really nicely to the audience. I didn't see any obvious issues of anxiety that you'd have to worry about, and even though there wasn't a lot of structure, you did kind of come back to the point that you were trying to make at the end. And if you don't do anything else in your speech, the one thing that you can do to help yourself on content is to remind people at the end, here's the point at least I was trying to make. Whether or not I succeeded, this is the point that I was trying to make, and I thought you left us on a good spot there. All right, thank you. Jacqueline, could you just ask Kyle to join us here? It's time for us to hear his speech.